So how is it?
Oscar is alright.
And it?
Oscar's
Abo. Makadzoka college, how was it up there?
college.
Yeah.
You know what? College was a very good experience for me, especially for me, because I learned a lot of things. How to live in a big society, especially with people of different cultures, different beliefs. I also learned a lot of things which I never suspected kuti ndichazoziva muupenyu hwangu. Kuti how important is discipline? How important is it to manage your resources effectively? So those are some of the lessons we learned from college. Kwakandibatsira inini.
Okay. But just for the sake of people that might not be aware, how did you get there?
Okay, there was a case which came up, which was involving the Zimbabwe Power Company and a private company called Fruitful Communications. So according to the charges, Takaita fraud, I got a contract from ZPC without going to tender. So that is the reason why I was put into prison. But fortunately, after so much deliberation and through the court processes, God intervened and eventually Takakwitwa and we got discharged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what's next?
A lot of things are coming up, you know. Remember, I'm a broadcaster. So that passion should be amplified to the highest level. So I want to concentrate more on my productions. Coming soon is a podcast. I'm going to start with my podcast because this will create the relevant environment for me to interact with a lot of people concerning various issues which affect our beloved Zimbabwe. So I want to go into media. I also want to go into tourism and advocacy work, talking to the youths, educating them on various issues which affect them, especially abuse, drug abuse, all sorts of things. I've witnessed it, and it's important for me to impart my knowledge to them as well.
But why specifically have you chosen drug abuse? Is it because have you been through it? What motivated you to?
Okay, I was caught up in the web during my life journey, and it affected me a lot. So, having gone through the turmoil, the pressures, the effects, and being healed, the most relevant thing becomes to impart your wisdom, especially to the youth, because these are the future leaders. These are the vanguard of the nation. So they need protection. They need guidance. They need to be assisted. And one better way of doing that is through me, who has passed through that road. And Mazwan.
Okay. How can you say, during the time you were dabbling in drugs, so to say,
okay,
how can you say drugs affected you personally?
Personally, I lost weight. I should emphasize, before I entered into prison, I was 51 kgs. Just imagine. Which meant that my weight was decreasing. But after being isolated from the dangers of these things, I gained 272. So there's lost weight. You lose a lot of networks because you'll be isolating yourself. When you take drugs or when you go into that world, you start living in isolation. So you miss a lot of networks. Productivity stops. And what happens when productivity stops? You're falling into poverty. Okay. So those are some of the challenges of drug abuse, and which I personally encountered as a person. And I'm saying to you, don't go that road because it's a turmoil road. At my point.
Which drug did you take?
Well, takarwa mbanje, but takazorwa imwe drug so rekuti iroro rakanganisa nyika, the demonic drug, mutoriro. So mutoriro is a dangerous drug, trust me. It affects your cognitive domain, the ways of thinking. My brain cells here, my brain cells, each and every day. You won't realize it, but those who are around you will be seeing a different version of the original. So Yeah, those are the two items I've passed through.
I've heard that you were doing church at some point. What became of that?
I don't do church as per se, but I'm a Christian and I fellowship with a lot of organizations. So sometimes you can see me at Zayoja, sometimes you can see me at Prophetic Healing and Deliverance Ministry. Sometimes I fellowship with a lot of people through internet. So maybe that's what you're talking about. But I'm deeply rooted in the word. And it is the word which has made me reach this far. If it wasn't for God, I could have died long back. So God still loves me. God has given me another chance. And I'll definitely utilize this chance. And we all pass through trials and tribulations. And this was part of my trial. Mwanoita matrials ekushaya mari, mwanoita kanganisirwa mumba, ndakapfura nenyaya yemadrugs. Saka madrugs aya ndo andiri kutaura nezvawo kuti anokanganisa nyika yedu yeZimbabwe.
Right now, you've came back from college. You finished your term. How are people like seeing you in the community? Have they accepted you?
I should thank God for that because especially Zimbabwe, because you've opened your heart to us ex-prisoners. Because most of the time people have this skeptical look when it comes to ex-prisoners. They don't accept them in society, which is the whole thrust of the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services. They played a part in reintegrating us into the society. Remember, in Ndiriku prison, I used to do a lot of campaigns in my drugs, moving to schools. That helped me create that rapport with the community. And the community, I must say, have been very favorable. In fact, the podcast, trying to come up again, the people have supported. And not only verbally, they've also supported financially, spiritually. And I must say thank you so much for accepting your broadcaster back in the society.
Who specifically is helping you?
My family, especially my mother and father. Those are two major components. We also have business people who have come through. I can't mention their names. Some of them don't want to be known. But we've got a community of people who love broadcasting. They are coming up with equipment. Microphone, camera. All this equipment is arriving in Zimbabwe very soon to kickstart the podcast and the production work.
Okay, so are we going to see you maybe rejoining ZBC? Are we going to see you maybe joining Sly Media or joining any other media organization?
A broadcaster is, just as the word says, you're a broadcaster, you are broad. You can do partnerships with a lot of people. So I'll be doing that. I can work part-time with Sly Media, I can work part-time with ZBC. It's very important for the broadcasting work to disseminate well. Saka, partnerships are very important. Yes, you'll be seeing me on a lot of platforms, but my focus as I've come back is to, in the long run, concentrate on my solo productions.
Okay, so you are going freelance.
That is exactly what I want to, that's my vision. I think with all the experience I've gathered in the journey of broadcasting, with all the networks I've established, I believe it's now time for me to start my own production. And this is the route I want to take now.
Okay, but what other projects are you looking into besides the broadcasting?
Mining. Zimbabwe is blessed with a lot of gemstones. I've been collecting these gemstones since Chirimfana. When I talk of gemstones, I'm talking of the emeralds, the tourmalines, the barrels, the jasper. But people don't know that these are valuable assets. So that's my future as well. That's my primary focus area, mining, gemstone mining. There's a lot of potential in Zimbabwe. And a lot of youths, you should pursue that area because as you need, and you say I need deep mining. My gemstones are not pamusoro pave. Saka kungonhonga nekutsvaga market. And mazona ziya nzvimbo kwazviri. Kunyanga kuzere ma emeralds, people don't know. And a lot of people are focusing on gold. But kune zvakawanda zvikudiwa futi panze. So that's another area. It's started quite tapped into on a national level.
And I mean, Jerry wakasiya vanhu. How do you also promise to help them? Probably even to rehabilitate them, just to give them hope. I know pane vamwe vanenge vakatongerwa makore akawanda.
As Oscar Pambuka, through my work, you see what I'm saying? Because I've noticed while in prison that there are a lot of artists, for example, people who are involved in artwork, production work, music. These are the people I'll put my hand into. Anachigudo, Makasara Ikoko, a lot of people, Ana Liquid Yonke, Varikoko Shakare. These are the people who I want to assist because while in prison, you don't have access to recording. You don't have access to you don't have a voice as per se. So I'll go in there, create that voice, give them a pipeline so that their issues can also be heard by the outside world. Remember, being incarcerated is not the end of the world. You're still a human being. So there are also issues which they need to communicate. So this is where I come in now. And in Ndakaona there are people who are gifted when it comes to drama, for example. But they don't have madrama no gadzurwa mujeri. Powerful productions, but no one goes there. It's untapped land as well by the president. Zero tolerance. Let's do that. Also, believe in yourself. For you to survive, look what God has given you. What is your gift? Don't look at your qualifications as per se. Tarisa kuti chipo changu ndi chipi. Ini changu ndechekutaura. Saka mari yangu ndinoita nekutaura. MC work. You see what I'm saying? Adverts, productions. Ansushanza certificate gap. Chanza voice. So you identify what you're good at and pursue it. Don't look at the next person because people will always say something. Focus, focus, focus. Zimbabwe needs your input. And yeah, stay spiritual. Have a very good communication link with the Almighty because He's the provider of everything. If it wasn't for the Almighty, some of us will still be in prison. So the Almighty is very powerful in anyone's life. And He's got a purpose for your life. And zombie. We want a productive Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe which competes regional, international, according to our God-given talents.